WWE SummerSlam is this weekend. It is the first two-night SummerSlam in WWE history. And this card is loaded with 6 matches on each night, 12 matches overall. We have Sunday with nothing but title matches. It's going to be freaking insane. The card for both nights of SummerSlam is as follows. Gunther versus CM Punk for the WWE World Championship. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defend the women's tag titles against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now for night 2 of SummerSlam on SummerSlam Sunday, you have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the undisputed title. Naomi versus Rhea versus Io Sky for the women's world title. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the women's intercontinental title. So no count out, no DQ match. And if Lyra loses, she cannot challenge Becky Lynch for the title again. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage for the U.S. title. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the WWE Intercontinental title. The Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Phoenix versus the Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium versus DIY in a TLC for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Both nights of SummerSlam is super stacked, and I'm super hyped for both of these nights. But let's go into my predictions for both nights and who I think are going to win all of these matches. Now, before we get into that fully, guys, don't forget I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/HillJosh. Please go subscribe to it. It's only $2.99 a month. On there, I am doing WWE Unreal full watch-alongs with Sarah. So we already have 1 and 2 up on there. So make sure that you guys go subscribe. It's only $2.99 a month. That's a lot cheaper than Netflix. And you get to see the full Unreal series with our live reactions to it, as well as this weekend, every single match from SummerSlam will go up on the Patreon from beginning to end, including our reactions, including the match footage. So go subscribe to the Patreon right now. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube, hit the like button, and make sure that you guys have notifications turned on because I do go live. I will be live for both nights of SummerSlam with Sarah, as well as we go live for Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown throughout the week. So make sure you guys have those notifications for when I go live. Now let's get into these predictions. So let's start with every match from SummerSlam Saturday. And my first match I'm going to go ahead and talk about is Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, Karrion Kross has been a big fan favorite for quite a while now this year. I'd say basically the majority of 2026. And recently he got loud "We Want Kross" chants on a Monday Night Raw, and this was during the Netflix commercial break where they interview wrestlers while the US is on commercial on Netflix. His merch has been consistently a #1 seller on the WWE shop, always in their top selling merch section, and Karrion Kross is just super over. While he's not really been on Raw wrestling as much, he has been doing a lot of main event matches and keeping himself working and being really great on social media. Now there is talks that Karrion Kross's contract is winding up, and there was a video he posted on social media just after Raw this week, basically saying the return of Killer Part 2 in August, and that is the rumored expiration date for him and Scarlett's contract with the WWE. Now all the insiders and dirt sheets like Fightful Select and so on and so forth are saying that it looks like as of right now he hasn't even been reached out formally to sign a new deal with the WWE. So whether he sticks around or not, that is yet to be seen. So if that video is indicating that he's leaving on Twitter that he posted on Monday, then that's going to be pretty crazy, especially since he's getting a PLE match at SummerSlam on night 1 against Sami Zayn. So with all of that in mind, and of course this really good story going on with him and Sami that has been building up for quite some time, and they're both tied right now 1-1 on matches. So this is their 3rd match going into SummerSlam. Does that mean Karrion Kross or Sami Zayn will be getting the win? Honestly, I do think that Karrion Kross should be getting the win here. Do I think that's the route they're going to go? If that video on Monday really indicates anything that Killer Kross or Karrion Kross posted to his social media, it makes me wonder if he could just be teasing more stuff related to his book that he recently released, because there's obviously, he's really good at just playing these stories and just getting people speculating on things. You know, obviously August being the date of the rumored contract expiration. I think that I'm going to play it safe here. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn's going to get the win here. And if Karrion Kross doesn't re-sign with the WWE, then I'm going to be one of the first people to get his merch on Pro Wrestling Tees once it's out there, because I love him so much. I really got to know him more once he was in WWE NXT. Then I looked up some of his stuff in TNA, and I really enjoyed his stuff that he did there. So I'm really hoping that whatever happens with him, I'm going to always be a big fan. But whether he's in WWE or not, I will always cheer him on. And whether he re-signs, that's yet to be seen. So I'm going to go with the safe pick here and Sami Zayn to win at SummerSlam. We have the women's tag team titles on the line as we see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss team up to try to dethrone the tag team champions in the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Now, of course, Roxanne was given the title after Liv was out due to injury, so they had to do something. And the Judgment Day voted all to put the title on Roxanne. And of course, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce both agreed. With Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair teaming up, one has to wonder, can they coexist? They've been coexisting for a little bit now, but I really think that this is gonna lead to them facing off one-on-one. But do I think the WWE would want to put the titles on Charlotte and Alexa Bliss? 100%. They are some of their biggest women's legends at this point that are still active to this day. Both have been competing for about 10 years on the main roster. Obviously had NXT runs previously before that. They've been with the company for a very long time, which for a while was very uncommon for women in the WWE to be there past usually 10 years. So in modern times, to see the women be there for so long and still being used and put in prominent roles is great to see. And of course, a lot of people will complain about Charlotte always being involved in title matches. My biggest complaint was she was always for the world title. So I'm actually pretty content seeing her going for these women's tag team titles. Plus, the women's tag titles always been said to be cursed. So I'm hoping that there's no curse here and we could keep stuff going for this women's tag division while keeping this women's mid-card division and the main event scene going all at once. Because it seems like WWE, at least in my opinion, for the last year, haven't done a good job of juggling that. And I'm hoping now with women returning from injuries and women hopefully not longer getting injured that we get this consistency in the division for each title. As for this match, again, as I was saying, do I think Alexa and Charlotte could be given the titles? I think it's 100% possible, but I am going to go with and still tag champs. I think they're going to do a decent job at building Roxanne and Raquel as champions, and I think they'll lose it right before Liv comes back, or even a few months before Liv comes back to add more to that tension. But Roxanne could tell her, oh, look at how long I held the titles with Raquel, blah, 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 and that'll eat at Liv, thus separating from the Judgment Day down the road. So I think this is going to be a long-term booking for the Judgment Day. I could be very wrong here. They could still cause that dissension now, but I think that it would do a little bit better justice to have them retain the titles here and then hold it to use that to hold against Liv when she does return to cause that separation with the group and Raquel. So there you go. Judgment Day I have retaining. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. The World Heavyweight title is going to be on the line. Gunther versus CM Punk. Now, if you watch WWE Unreal, you know that this was a planned match for WrestleMania this year. Well, we got it at SummerSlam instead. CM Punk won the gauntlet match to face Gunther at SummerSlam, and the promos have been really enjoyable leading up to this. The last 2 weeks, this past Monday, both were very good. I love the way that they had Gunther basically drop his own little pipe bomb on Punk, leaving Punk essentially breathless and nothing to say to end Raw or end their segment last week. I really enjoyed that, as well as this week where Punk had a great rebuttal back to him. But I love that Gunther basically wasn't breathless, that he wasn't, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. He was visibly angry, yelling basically back to Punk as he walked away in anger. So I really love that they're not letting Gunther be this like, oh man, he really got me type of character going up into this. So I really think this should be a good match. I was really hoping for more on the mic between the two, but obviously with so many events going on, I feel like the builds for a lot of these things are a lot shorter than what they could be, at least this year in 2025. But this match, I'm hoping to be a really good technical match. I actually feel like this is going to pay homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. I could see Gunther getting CM Punk in some type of submission, thus Punk not wanting to tap, Punk passing out, the ref having to make the call that he's out. And they've done this a lot recently with a lot of wrestlers, especially Gunther, but I feel like they'll probably, if anytime Punk could get some color, will be here at SummerSlam, be busted open and pay homage to that match and go out with putting over Gunther retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. And whether we see a cash in, I think it's a big possibility that we see Seth Rollins here. We haven't had any update on Seth Rollins since he was on the Rich Eisen podcast saying he had some swelling that he was waiting to go down before he could really get everything looked at. There's been nothing. Obviously, there's been photos and videos that Becky's posted of him on the crutches, and dirt sheets are saying that it's possible that the injury isn't as bad as WWE may have let on so far, but that has not been confirmed. So again, Seth is been actually hurt supposedly, but I think this would be a good time, if that's the case where he's not as hurt as they're letting on and he can compete right now, to have him cash in on this match. I want to see Seth and Gunther. They've teased it a tiny bit in the past, and I think that this would be the direction to go following SummerSlam, maybe going into Survivor Series or even right before that. But I definitely been wanting to see Seth Rollins and Gunther one-on-one for this world title. So I do think it's a big possibility. I'm going to give it like a 75% chance that Seth Rollins comes out after this match. He may come out during it and cause Punk, but I'm going to say Gunther wins with the whole homage to the Bret Hart Stone Cold. I got Seth coming out after, cashing in with the help of Braun and Bronson, beating him down and winning that title. I think it's a big possibility. I'm not going to say it's my actual final prediction. My final prediction is that Gunther walks out of SummerSlam at the end of night one with that World Heavyweight Championship. But Seth Rollins may cash in. I don't know. Let me guys know what you think about that in the comments. Now let's go into the match featuring a celebrity and a celebrity wrestler. Of course, one now going to be a wrestler in Jelly Roll. This man has lost so much weight and it feels like such a little time, at least to me. I remember last seeing him at the SNL 50 anniversary, like where they did the music thing. And he looked, I mean, he wasn't as big then because that was earlier this year, but he still from then to now has lost so much weight. So props to Jelly Roll. And there's been reports out there via the dirt sheets that he's basically been living in Orlando, been training at the PC nonstop, and he's been taking this super seriously. So shout out to Jelly Roll, man, on getting ready for this match for SummerSlam. There was even shots of him at NXT. I did film this after NXT, which was tonight on the 29th. So there was shots of him in the crowd, I guess, that showed up on Twitter, him being there watching the show since he's apparently been living there. So shout out to Jelly Roll. If you know me, I'm not a big fan of celebrities getting matches in wrestling, taking spots. I know it's been a thing since before I was born, back in the early days of WrestleMania, but obviously it's not going to stop because of my opinion. And there's a lot of other people that have this opinion about celebrities working matches, taking spots. Obviously, Pipe Bomb, talks about Dwayne coming back as a part-timer. That's a little bit different, obviously, but at the same time, I feel it has the same type of feeling when it comes to these people coming back and these celebrities taking spots from people who are working day in and day out. Obviously not as much house shows as there was last year or the previous years, but this company, they're working nonstop almost 365 days even to this day. They are getting more time off, but at the end of the day, this match, I'm not the most hyped. The story has been whatever it has. And Jelly Roll has done his part well. I do not hate on Jelly Roll for anything that he's done on this. He's done really well on the mic, obviously selling this match, taking a few bumps already on screen. So shout out to him once again. Logan Paul, a heat magnet, able to bring heat immediately to get Jelly over. Of course, Randy Orton, the legend himself, the legend killer. How do you not love Randy at this stage in his career? So he's teaming up with Jelly Roll. Drew McIntyre, we still don't know if he will be in the US. He got stuck in the UK. He had a British passport. Apparently, they wouldn't let him enter the US or even fly to the US. I'm not sure which way it was. But as of this moment, as of this recording, Tuesday, the 29th, really late in the night, he has still reportedly in the UK. So we don't know if he'll be back. There's been reports saying that the WWE is not super concerned at this point. They feel like he will make it back to the States in time for this match. And I hope that's the case. I don't know who could fill in if he doesn't make it. Obviously, you need a heel. Maybe R-Truth. I don't know. I think he's just kind of, we'll talk about R-Truth at another video, but I don't know who else you could put into this role right now. But Drew McIntyre, obviously, I think he'll return personally. And this match, I hope it plays out well. I hope no one gets hurt. I hope Jelly does whatever he's gonna do. I don't feel like he'll be as physical as Logan will be in the match. He'll take some good bumps, I feel, but I don't think he'll take anything too crazy. I think he'll be more of the offensive guy than the defensive guy. I think he'll be the guy that kind of like takes the hot tag a little bit, but he'll get beat down. But Randy will get the hot tag and save him at one point. But I definitely have Jelly Roll and Randy Orton getting the win here over Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. And I just hope it's a good match, even though I'm not as invested into this. But those are my pick, Jelly and Randy Orton. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed teaming up to take on Roman Reigns and Jey Uso is an insane matchup for SummerSlam. It could have even been Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker, which would have been even more insane, but I'm super excited for this tag team matchup. I do think that there's going to be some shenanigans here, obviously with the Oracle Paul Heyman ringside. Do we finally see that plan B with this matchup? If you don't know what I'm referring to, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman talked in the past before Seth's injury, where we saw him basically removed from TV completely because of it, talking about a possible plan B to help them. Now, obviously, this is in reference to their past with Triple H and Seth Rollins teaming up to where they finally formed the New Authority, where he turned on the Shield. So could we have a new plan B tonight on night one? Now, my guess could be Sami Zayn, but he's obviously in a match with Karrion Kross. So why would Sami Zayn get involved in this match? Could it be because we see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed take advantage of someone being hurt, thus it making it a 2-on-1 and Sami coming out, but then him being the plan B anyways? I'm not sure how you'd work in a plan B here. I just thought it would be an interesting fact to bring up, maybe to bring some discourse down in the comments below. How do you think a plan B play out here? Because at this point, I don't know what that plan B could be, especially if we're going to see Seth Rollins cash in on the World Heavyweight title this night, and I'm correct on that. I don't know if a plan B needs to happen in this match unless they need to outnumber Jey and Roman, which is a possibility. So maybe they don't do an injury angle with one of the two to bring Sami out, and they bring Sami out thinking that he's going to help them even the odds in some way, shape, or form, and he turns on them to join this new group. It's been a theory of mine that he's going to be the plan B for a while, so I don't know if he's going to do it here at SummerSlam. I just think with this being the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, you have to have something big in one of these matches. And I think that this could be one of those things, with Sami Zayn joining Seth Rollins' faction. champion, with Seth possibly winning that World Heavyweight title on night one after cashing in Money in the Bank and coming back and fooling us with how serious his injury is. I think that's a possibility. I want to say a big possibility for this. I want to go with the safe pick. Roman and Jay, I think they get the win here. They're so over, and so is Braun and Bronson. I think that they could really use this win here, but I think that's what WWE's direction is going to go. And I think they'll use it to build up to that Braun Breaker Roman match in a good way, because sometimes they don't. But I think that this will turn out really well for them, and I think it'll definitely lead to Braun just keep destroying him and want that single match and get it at Mania next year. So we're going to go with Roman and Jay. Cap off our predictions for night one. Jade Cargill will go for the women's title against Tiffany Stratton. Now, Jade Cargill won the Queen of the Ring, thus earning the shot here at SummerSlam. And actually, for the longest time, since Money in the Bank, I thought Naomi would cash in at this event, but she did it at Evolution for the other title, which was totally awesome because Jade defeated Naomi at Evolution only for Naomi to cash in that same night. So it was a really big surprise because that was something I didn't see coming. I really thought they would have Jade win against Tiffany and then have Naomi cash in at SummerSlam, thus continuing that story. But they really caught me off guard, but it was a great way to do it. So do I think that Jade will still get that win even though Naomi already cashed in on the women's world title now? I actually do. I actually think Tiffany's reign is going to be coming to an end here at SummerSlam. It feels like after Mania, her reign hasn't been the most memorable, at least to me. It feels like it's just been happening, but not really anything of substance is really happening to be memorable for. And it's just unfortunate. That's been a lot of the reigns in WWE, I feel like, this year. Like, they just happen and there's really no defenses to it. Like Zelina Vega's title reign and stuff like that, or Shinsuke Nakamura's title reign. A lot of them were very forgettable in the end. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot they had that title. And I feel like that's kind of where Tiffany is sitting right now. So I do think it's time to put the strap on Jade. I just hope that she's going to be a defending champion. Obviously, that's not up to her. That's up to the WWE to book it that way. But I'm thinking Jade still gets the win at SummerSlam over Tiffany Stratton. And I'm not sure what's going to be next for Tiffany after this, but let me know in the comments below what you think is going to be next for Tiffany and who do you got winning, because I'm going to go with Jade Cargill. And we're now on to night 2 of SummerSlam predictions. So let's go through all these. And these are all title matches. So we're going to go ahead and start out with the US title, which is in a steel cage match. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Now, since this is only a steel cage and not a Hell in a Cell, obviously you can climb the cage to exit, but that means people on the outside could climb to enter the cage. You got people like Tonga Loa that could do that, Hala Tonga, the former Hikuleo, or even JC Mateo. All could still get involved in this match, whether there is a cage or not. They could throw the ref away, they could get their own lock on the door, whatever the case may be, climb the top of it. I still think that this leaves a lot of options on the table for Solo Sikoa to walk out and still US champion. But also, of course, we have the rest of the bloodline that might help out. Jimmy Uso. Obviously, Jay Uso might get involved. But with Jay facing Braun and Bronson with his cousin later in the night, that's probably less of a possibility. So who else could go out there and help out Jacob Fatu? That's what makes me think Solo Sikoa is possibly retaining this title at SummerSlam, is I really, off the top of my head, can't think of anyone that might come and help unless a returning Tama Tonga. But I feel like there's been 0 updates on this guy, and this might be the time where he returns here at SummerSlam and sides with Jacob. We saw him in the past side with Jacob after the Solo Sikoa losing the Tribal Chief match against Roman Reigns. So it's very possible that we see Tama Tonga not align with the MFT and align with Jacob and Jimmy instead. And that's going to be what I think happens. I think we see the return of Tama Tonga, evening the odds as best as he can to help get that match won for Jacob. And Jacob is such a beast in himself that they'll still be outnumbered, but how big of a beast he is going to be able to beat down 2 guys by himself, no issue. Thus, those 3 will beat down those 4 of the MFT, thus leading to the second time US champion too. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments down below. Will Tama Tonga return? Dominic Mysterio defends the Intercontinental title against AJ Styles at SummerSlam. They've done a pretty solid job at building this matchup with Dominic not being cleared, and the dirt sheet said that he was actually not cleared and was dealing with a rib injury that was legit. They had AJ Styles play a janitor, amongst other things, backstage, just interacting with Dirty Dom, or just being backstage randomly in the Judgment Day's clubhouse, just egging him on. And of course, he couldn't touch Dom, otherwise he couldn't have the match against Dom. But eventually Dom got cleared, attacking AJ, leading to this match finally happening. And what makes this even better is Sarah and I have a bet leading up to this match. I'm such a big Dom fan right now, and she is a lifelong AJ Styles fan, so she decided to agree to a bet with me where if Dirty Dom wins the match this weekend, then she will have to purchase me dinner. But if AJ wins, then I will have to purchase dinner. And we've already decided on Olive Garden because we freaking love Olive Garden and their endless breadsticks. I need Dom to step up and win this match so I could have me some great Olive Garden. And that's actually my pick. I think we're going to see the classic Judgment Day get involved and help him win over AJ Styles, thus retaining the Intercontinental title. And I see a lot of people out there with the theory that AJ Styles, John Cena is going to complete his Grand Slam, finally get the IC title for the first time in his career, and it's going to be against AJ. And I think that's a fantastic idea. I just think the WWE is going to go with what they always do with the Judgment Day and have them help him beat AJ Styles. And I think that's going to be fine. I think the match should be really good. And I'm going to go with that route. I think the Judgment Day do what they do best. We're going to see Raquel, maybe possibly even Finn Balor. A lot of people say maybe even Finn will help AJ. I don't think that happens. I think Finn, still for some reason, he seems to be happy. He seems to feel like he's the leader, and he's going to help Dom retain so they all have these titles. Then again, we could see, and I picked earlier for the Judgment Day to win the women's tag title match, we could see them lose the women's tag titles, thus leading to this Judgment Day falling apart at SummerSlam. That's a big possibility, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to go with Dirty Dom beating AJ Styles. And Sarah's going to have to buy me dinner. Let's go, baby. Now, in my opinion, the best built-up match to this night, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental title. She hopefully she's got her Becky stompers on because she's going to definitely need them at SummerSlam because this match is a no count-out, no DQ. And if Lyra loses, she can't challenge for that Women's Intercontinental title again as long as Becky is the champion. Now, again, I think this has been the best built-up storyline. I think this one has had the most time to build up to this, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I think that their first two matches were really awesome, and I feel that they could actually have an all-timer here at SummerSlam if this match is done correctly. Becky Lynch has really done a good job at elevating the Women's Intercontinental title. Even if she hasn't really defended it much, I feel like the storytelling with Lyra and Bayley has been some of the best things going on in WWE today, thus making it feel more important than a lot of other titles. And I'll always go out saying that WWE has way too many titles on the main roster right now. That's just my opinion. I really feel like there's just too many titles, too many participation awards at this point with them. But at this point, it's neither here nor there what my opinion is going to matter or affect the company. That's just how it is today. But this match is going to be great. I think that this will be a really vicious match. I don't think this will be a bloody match. I know a lot of people would love to have a lot of these matches that are no DQ and stuff like that to be full of blood, unless someone gets cut open the wrong way or the hard way in this match. I don't think any of them are really going to get much color. I think Punk is going to be one to get that color for SummerSlam, and I think that's the one they'll keep it on. But I think this will be a vicious match. Obviously, no DQ. I think Bayley might possibly come out here and turn heel. We saw her on Monday looking dejected about everything. So Bayley possibly costing Lyra or even costing Becky. I don't think she will actually cost Becky. I think she'll definitely cost Lyra. Am I 100% sure Bayley will get involved in this match? I'm 90% sure Bayley will get involved in this match. So I do think Bayley will potentially cost Lyra, thus leading to Becky retaining at this point. I really thought Lyra was going to pull it off, and she still might. She still might somehow have that dog in her and come back and beat both Bayley down while defeating Becky. It's a possibility, or outwitting Bayley from getting involved in this match. That is a possibility, but I do think at the end of the day, Bayley's going to cost Lyra. Becky's going to continue to hold that Women's Intercontinental Championship, and that'll be the end of the Lyra Becky story for now, and I think we'll focus back on Lyra and Bayley. But I do hope that Bayley gets put into the Women's Intercontinental title picture because she's been in that, but I hope that she gets put that title on her. If it's not defeating Becky, hopefully within the next year, she could have that title. And of course, if you saw her CVV interview, there's talks, about maybe she feels like that there might be some greener pastures in her future, but I feel like she's going to end up staying with the WWE and definitely hope that she gets an IC title run in the future. The WWE Tag Team titles are on the line in a TLC match, and it's a six-way TLC. The Wyatt Six, Andrade and Rey Fenix, the Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, and DIY are all going to do battle in a hell of a match. Now, this could possibly be match of the weekend with it being a TLC with 6 teams. They're essentially at this point paying homage to the TLC tag team matches that really put the TLC match at the top of the pinnacle, that making people really want to see it back in the day with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. So I'm super excited for this match. Now, this one has been a really bit tricky for me to pick. The Wyatt Six haven't really had a long reign as of yet. I think just about a month or so that they've had this tag titles. And obviously the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and the Street Profits all being former tag team champions themselves, with Fraxium and Andrade and Rey Fenix not holding those titles. I definitely think that it's possible that we get new tag champs, and by I mean new tag champs, I mean tag champs that we've never had before. And I'm actually going to go with a crazy pick here. I feel like at least it's crazy. With the quick rise of Andrade and Rey Fenix, I think they're actually going to win the tag titles, which is interesting because a lot of people were speculating at some point this year we would actually get Rey Fenix teaming up with his brother Penta, but obviously both are on separate shows and they've been kept that way. We haven't seen any interaction between the two. So do I think that we are actually going to see the Wyatt Six have a short title reign? I do. I think this match is a perfect way for them to lose without actually losing, without taking a pin or a submission. And I think Andrade and Rey Fenix are going to walk out as your new tag team champions. And I think the spots in this match are going to be scary, crazy, and unbelievable. And it's going to be such a spectacle that we are going to be walking away saying that this is the match of the weekend. So I got Andrade and Rey Fenix walking out as your tag team champions. Rhea Ripley, Naomi, and Io Sky are going to do battle for the women's world heavyweight title in a triple threat match. Now at WrestleMania, we had basically the same match, but with Bianca Belair, and this time Naomi is women's world heavyweight champion. We had Io Sky go into the WrestleMania match as champion. So just a slight variation to what we got at Mania. And a lot of people, myself included, will say that Rhea Ripley has had way too many world heavyweight title matches, and this year it's been shown that she's been in every women's world heavyweight title match except one, and that was Liv Morgan versus Io Sky one-on-one. So obviously not Rhea's fault that she's that popular, that over, that WWE wants to keep putting her in these positions, because obviously that's why she's getting it. She's super over. She's one of their biggest draws in company right now, and that's why she's always getting these opportunities. Plus, she basically delivers every time. So this match should be really good. At the end of the day, though, I'm going to play it safe on this one, as well as I have a few matches on my predictions, and I think Naomi's going to walk out the champion. I think they're going to have the Hills do what they always do, use dastardly tactics, and I think that Naomi is going to either capitalize off of Rhea's Riptide or an Io Sky moonsault, coming back in and throwing them out of the ring and getting the victory, walking out still women's heavyweight champion. Whether that means that we're going to see Stephanie Vaquer be the one to dethrone her, yet to be seen, because that's going to be awesome in Clash in Paris. But that is the case. The woman who wins this triple threat will face her in Clash in Paris. So I'm going to go with Naomi, and I think that they do crown Stephanie at Clash in Paris. I know, crazy, you're getting an early pay-per-view or PLE prediction right now, but I really think that's where they're heading with Stephanie. She's so over, and I think she's going to be like Jacob, started getting to those local merch soon, where like it's going to be related to the local sports teams and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Naomi, I have her retaining, walking out women's world heavyweight champion. And of course, our main event of night 2 of SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes, the King of the Ring, going up against the Never Seen 17, John Cena. The WWE Championship is on the line. And what's going to go down here? Are we going to see Travis Scott once again? Are we going to finally see The Rock show up and do something with the storyline that he essentially started at Elimination Chamber? No, I don't think that we see The Rock. I don't think that we're going to see Travis Scott. I think we're just going to get a straight wrestling match where they might tease, or basically right here at the very end, turn John Cena back to face. I don't think we're going to see a double turn here. A lot of people have been saying that they think that this is going to lead to a double turn. Cody using weapons throughout the year in a few matches is just slowly building to it, and it'll all go down at SummerSlam. And while I do think that there's going to be a turn in John Cena turning back to face once he loses this title to Cody, I don't think it'll fully happen at SummerSlam. I think he'll just tease it. He'll get the thank you John's chant, because I do have Cody Rhodes walking out once again the WWE champion for the second time of his career. But I think Cena will accept the crowd's thank yous, and he'll come back either on a Raw or SmackDown and talk about, well, you know what, I never got that IC title, whether that be Dom or AJ. I think he will chase it to try to end his career, and I think eventually he might get it. But right now, I do think that this match with Cody is going to have no crazy outside interference, no celebrity involvement. I do think John's going to try to use the title to beat him and so on and so forth. But I think that at the end of the day, Cody is going to have learned from that match at Mania, be ready for anything, but he's not going to get everything when it comes to all the crazy outside interference. He's going to get the John Cena that he's been asking for. That's going to be the tease of him going back to face. But Cody isn't going to cheat himself like he has. He's not going to grab the title. He might grab it and tease it and like hold it and throw it to the side, and then Cena will take advantage. But in the end, it's not going to work for Cena, because Cody's going to have everything ready and scouted. Even if he does catch him off guard or something, we're going to see Super Cody like we saw at WrestleMania 40, where he kicked out of every finisher possible, or even a spear spike combo. He's going to be doing that at SummerSlam and walking out your second time WWE champion. I think John Cena will get those chances. He will turn face the following Raw or SmackDown that he appears, and we'll get that last part of his face run of his career. I think that's where this should go. I don't think there should be all kinds of craziness like we got at WrestleMania 41 in their match. I think this should just be as clean as you can, while also getting John to try to use those heel tactics, but it not succeeding. I think that's the way that they need to go with this match, and that's the way I'm hoping this match goes. So Cody Rhodes, King of the Ring, winning that title back. There you have it. There's all my picks for this 12-match card that's happening on 2 nights, the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. Guys, don't forget to like this video, leave your comment, let me know what you think of my predictions, and compare them to your predictions. Also, don't forget, Patreon we're going back on the Patreon. We have some content up on there from WWE Unreal. So if you want to see both first 2 episodes, they're up on my Patreon. Me and Sarah reacting from beginning to end with the footage, so you actually get to watch the show while we react to it, as well as all of SummerSlam. Every single match that's happening at SummerSlam is going on the Patreon after both nights. So make sure you guys go subscribe to the Patreon. Follow me everywhere. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Kick, follow me and subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you have those notifications notifications turned on because I will be live reacting with Sarah this weekend to all of the madness, including SmackDown, as well as Dynamite and Collision this week. So we are reacting to everything. Make sure you have those notifications turned on for when we go live, and follow me across all social medias for reactions on TikTok and Instagram, as well as my comments on Twitter. Everything, all of that's down below. Make sure you guys go do everything. Check out all my affiliates and stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching my prediction video, and I will catch you guys either in the lives or on the next video.